You're right, it doesn't match up. Hi, hello everyone. First I want to thank Atlantic Cape May County's Hub for having me here today. It's really an honor. The Hub here does so much great work for the green teams within the county, so we really appreciate all that they do, especially this grant session. That's really exciting. I think it was a really great idea. There's definitely a lot of really great resources that you can take advantage of to help improve the sustainability of your communities. I also want to thank everyone in this room who has ever applied for or worked on a Sustainable Jersey grant. I see a lot of familiar faces around. I know some of you have grants, and some of you might even have applications in the running right now. My lips are sealed though, so can't tell you anything until April. But thank you so much for all the work you do. It really is an honor to say that we've been able to support your projects, but grant funding or not, it all really boils down to the hard work, creativity, dedication, and perseverance that you all have. The work couldn't get done without you, so we're just glad that we can help you out. With that said, I'm happy to help you navigate the Sustainable Jersey Grants Program. Just like DEP's website, our website is also a bit overwhelming. We have a lot of really great resources, but sometimes it can be kind of tricky to find what you need. So if you ever need any help trying to figure out where anything is, please feel free to reach out to our staff or maybe some of your hub leaders, and I'm sure they can help get you where you need to go. One last thing before I start, just curious, anyone in the room here gotten a grant? I know some of you, so I'll know if you're lying. Okay, great. So if everyone looks around, you can see that we already have a lot of success already represented here. So we have a lot of great people that you can talk to if you're ever looking to go for a grant, and they can give you some pointers. So for those of you,
Can you use the mic a little bit?
Sure. I'm gonna carefully move it forward. All right, how's this? Ooh, yeah, I can even tell that's a lot better. All right, oh no. There we go. Okay, great. So for all of you who aren't aware of Sustainable Jersey, I just want to give you a little bit of background information about our organization. Sustainable Jersey has programs for both schools and municipalities in New Jersey. The purpose of is to provide guidance, tools, and funding necessary to help you pursue critical sustainability initiatives. That accumulates in a free and voluntary certification program for both schools and municipalities. Also, we have over 100 actions, which are guidance that we put together on how you can do those sustainability initiatives, along with technical assistance programs and obviously the grants program. Collectively, we've made a lot of progress since we've began our organization in 2009. I'm happy to say that we have 82% of municipalities in New Jersey participating and 64% of New Jersey public schools participating. So we've really grown over the time. This is just a screenshot of our various actions within our brochure. The schools have a very similar brochure that's full of actions. The reason I have this up here is not so you can try and read all the tiny print, but just so you know that we have a lot of different areas that we cover with our definition of sustainability. It's more than just, doing something green. We also like to support the people and the prosperity of communities. So whether you want to get like arts program funded, or maybe you're looking to do something to support your local businesses, there's something within the Sustainable Jersey program that you can find fits your municipality's unique needs and wants. So the Sustainable Jersey Grants Program. Sustainable Jersey Grants Program since 2009 has provided over $7.2 million in grants. We're very lucky that we have a lot of really great partnerships with foundations and corporations that provide that funding to us. 50% of all of our grant funding is reserved for certified communities or schools that are certified, but that doesn't mean you can't apply if you're not certified or currently working on certification. We really encourage registered communities to apply as well to help get your sustainability initiatives going. There's a lot of success with our grants program. Unlike some other grants programs from the federal, the state, or even the foundation level, we find that about over half of our participating municipalities or school districts have gotten at least one grant. So there's a really good chance that you can get some funding from our program. Oh, and we've funded over 1,000 projects at this point too. In order to be eligible, all you need to do is be a New Jersey municipality or public school or school district, and you have to have an active green team. That means you're participating in Sustainable Jersey. It's free and easy to register if you're not already registered, and there's guidance on our website for that. And you need to have a group of people who are dedicated to getting the project done and also working on the sustainability initiatives in your town or school. So there's a lot of benefits for participating in the Sustainable Jersey Grants Program. Obviously, you get money, which is great. But you also have a good chance of meeting with other folks, like-minded people in communities who are also working on the same kinds of projects as you. And you can learn from each other, which is really great. We have an announcement event for all of our grantees at the end of the cycle, where you can meet folks and also the funders. You get a nice picture, we give you a press template, and then you can go ahead and actually promote it to the rest of your community. We also provide the non-recipients of each cycle with the opportunity to get more information on how they can improve their application to be submitted in a future cycle. So we try to make it as easy as possible. So every year, funding permitted, and I will say that, especially with the PCG Foundation, who's been with us for over a decade, these are pretty much our standard annual cycles, but we have 3 cycles that are available pretty much every year. The first one is funded by Atlantic City Electric. This cycle is a little special. It's a little bit different than their other cycles in regards to the application, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But this cycle is only open to municipalities within Atlantic City Electric territory. So that means all of you, for the most part. And that's a good news in the sense that that means that grant is a lot less competitive than our other grants. So it's a really good opportunity to get some funding for some projects. We also have a cycle funded by NJEA, that's for our schools. And then the PCG Foundation offers 2 cycles, one for schools, one for municipalities. The cycles are around, let's see, they're varied throughout the year in terms of when they launch. Please feel free to take a picture of this chart, as this is the timelines will never change. And that's also good because that means you can do some planning ahead, and like Megan said, community visioning to find out what you actually want to apply for instead of waiting for the cycle to open and last minute trying to get an application in. All of our grant cycles use a standard application form, so no matter what grant you're going for, this is what you're going to have to fill out in order to apply. We try to just ask you for the most necessary information. We really don't want this to be a burden to you. Our smaller grant applications, which is usually the $2,000 grant amount, only has to fill out everything on the left of the slide, whereas left for you, not for me. Whereas if you're going for a large grant, $10,000 or more, you're going to have to fill out what's on the left plus everything on the right. But even still, it's not too bad. I've ever written a state grant application. It's really not too bad. We also have templates available to help you. You don't have to use the templates, but I think they make it a little bit easier. So you'll know what we're looking for your budget. We'll know what we're looking for your action plan and timeline. One other thing that we're going to be asking for your grant application is evidence that you have a green team. If you're a certified community or school, you don't have to worry about providing this information. But if you're not, we just want to know who's on your green team and what you've been up to for the past year. If you're just formed this green team, especially if you're looking to go for this grant and you're getting a team together so you can go ahead and go for it, just know that it's okay if your project team is basically your green team right now. It's okay if you designate an existing group, maybe your environmental commission, or if you're at a school, maybe like an eco club to be your green team. And it's also okay to just talk about what your future plans and aspirations are if you don't have a past year of activities to report out on. The last thing we're going to need for your application, no matter what application you submit through Sustainable Jersey, is some kind of grant authorization document. For municipalities, this is a resolution, and it's just saying that the municipal body supports your grant application and your project if you were to receive the funding. For schools, it can also be a resolution, but you can also get away of just giving us a letter from your principal, superintendent, or BA. Essentially, this document is just meant to show the support, like I said. To find more information about the Sustainable Jersey Grants Program, or if you're looking to see what opportunities are currently available and you're not signed up for our mailing list yet, you can check out either of our websites. The schools can go to sustainablejerseyforschools.com, and municipalities can go to sustainablejersey.com, and on there we have a grants tab, and under that tab you'll have all the information you'll need to know about our grants, including those new opportunities, a list of all the previous grantees and the projects that they've done in case you need a little inspiration. And also, what I think is pretty cool, we have a Thinking About Applying for Grants page that has all the resources, including that standard application form that we use. So you really can start getting an application ready before the grant's even announced. You know the timeline, so you could start working on it months in advance if you wanted to. Once it does come time to submit an application, the cycle is open and you're ready to go ahead and apply. You will be using an online application portal. The online application portal is meant to be user-friendly and easy. If you don't have an account created yet, please feel free to go ahead and create one. And if you are working with a consultant, it's completely fine to have a consultant write your grant application for you. We just ask that you have someone working at the municipality or a green team member, or if you're a school district employee, be the person listed as the primary contact on that. But if you have a grant consultant or just like a grant writer, that's awesome. So go ahead and use them. So funding can be used to fund any of the sustainability initiatives that are listed within the Sustainable Jersey program. So the over 100 actions that I was talking about before. We have a lot of different actions, so there's a lot of different projects you can choose from. We also allow our $2,000 grants to be used for green team support. So if you're just getting started, or maybe you're revitalizing your green team, or maybe you need to help build the capacity of your green team to help enough members, you can use those smaller grants to help get the promotional materials you might need, or get the meetings together that you might need to help grow your green team. Eligible expenses, pretty much everything goes for us. We just ask that you don't ask for any kind of overhead, and that you don't ask for funding that will be reimbursing anything you've already bought for a project that you already started. We do have a limit on promotional items, but that's just because we're hoping that most of the funding will go towards something programmatic, and not just buying t-shirts or water bottles, as fun and great as they are. We're hoping that most of the money will go towards actually advancing sustainability within your school or your town. All right, so just gonna quickly go through some of the great projects we've seen over the years. Sorry, I keep messing up with this mic. So green team support grants, like I said, you can use it to get promotional materials for your green team, whether that's a new website or maybe a new tablecloth. You can also use grants to build a greenhouse at your school or maybe an outdoor classroom. You can use our grants to create community gardens or pollinator gardens, any kind of garden at all, whether it's aeroponics, hydroponics, aquaponics, you name it. We're happy to see it. If you have a seed library program that you want to get started at your local library, a grant can be used for that. Supporting your local farmers market, any kind of composting initiatives, staff wellness, the wellness of kids at your school. You have any activities that help promote physical activity, those things can be funded. Healthy eating, mindfulness, any kind of green infrastructure, whether it's a bioswale, rain garden, or green roof. Any kind of water conservation, education programs, or maybe getting some rain barrels for your local garden to help with watering the plants. Any kind of recycling-based projects, maybe you need to do a waste audit, maybe you're focusing on food waste, which I know is a big hot thing right now. Any kind of way to decrease the amount of styrofoam you use, or disposable plastics, improving the sustainability of your cafeteria if you're a school, getting reusable products in the cafeteria, supporting your local businesses as they adapt to more sustainable practices, holding sustainable business forums, supporting arts programs, whether that's a creative assets inventory or actually using funding to help support local artist-based programs around town, different innovative projects, canvassing your community to get an idea of what they care about in terms of sustainability, creating an ERI, which is very important, environmental resource inventory, green fairs of all kinds, sustainability education within schools, STEAM education. I could go on for days. We have a lot of really great examples of projects, and if you're ever wondering whether or not your project is eligible, you can definitely reach out to staff to find out. The only big no or limitation we have is with energy projects. Because of funding that's available through the state, NJDEP, and the BPU, we do not allow certain energy projects to be submitted for Sustainable Jersey funding. Mostly energy efficiency upgrades, so if you need new lighting or boilers, we have really great programs through the utilities now and through NJCEP. You can get funding for that through there. If you want to get an EV charging station or maybe purchase an electric vehicle, we have limitations on what you can get with our grants for that too. DEP has a lot of great funding, and also BPU also has funding there as well. If you want to do something that's more along the lines of energy conservation or education, or even like changing the behavioral practices at your school, that kind of thing, we're happy to accept applications for. All right, so the Sustainable Communities Grant Program, as you probably saw on that chart of grant opportunities, the one funded by Atlanta City Electric was one of them. This is actually our, gonna be the grant program that we have opening up in spring 2023. Other than this program, we do have the PCG grant cycle open for schools. Applications are due March 10th, so if you're interested in that, definitely come see me afterwards. But I want to talk a little bit about this program because it is special, and it's only the communities within Atlanta State Electric Service Territory that are eligible to apply. So these grants are a little different than our other grants. You don't have to worry about connecting it to one of our actions, but you do have to connect it to one of these two categories, either environmental stewardship or resiliency. After this grant is open in April, we'll have applications due in June, and funding will be awarded in September. So what are the environmental stewardship grants? These grants are meant to help municipalities plan for, protect, and improve public spaces, parks, natural areas, and recreation resources. So eligible projects. Instead of reading this slide, I'm going to just break it down for you. If you want a community garden, if you need to buy equipment for your park, maybe you need a new shade structure, maybe you need more playground equipment, maybe you need to improve a trail, you want to create a trail, maybe you're looking to update your open space and recreation plan, or even ERIs are actually counted under this. You can use this funding to do that. And then for the resiliency grants, the official definition are projects that enhance a municipality's capacity to prevent and respond to catastrophic events and emergencies. But the shorthand of it is if you need to get solar powered batteries, if you need to have some kind of grid system to help power emergency shelters during storms, if you have flooding problems and you're trying to investigate it to find out how you can maybe use green infrastructure to improve it, any kind of planning like that. If you want a rain garden, if you want a green roof, if you want bioswales, things like that. Whatever would help improve the resiliency of your community can be used to apply for one of these grants. All right, to wrap it up, some application tips to help you. I know you probably got a lot going on in your brains with what you might be able to apply for, but hopefully you can keep a few of these tips in mind next time you apply. First is apply for both a small and a large grant. We do allow you to apply for both of our grant types. You can't get both grants, but by applying for both, you have the opportunity, better opportunity to get some kind of funding. You can copy and paste a lot of the same information into the application since we use that standard application form, so it won't even be like a huge lift to go for both. When deciding what project that you want to work on, think outside the box. In the end, the most important thing is that you're addressing a need within your community, but there's a lot of ways to make even a common project like a garden more innovative and unique. So for example, if you're a community, you want that community garden, everybody else has one, it's time for you guys to have one too, but you're wondering how can I make this special, and you know that you want to build it next to your senior center, and your senior citizens are going to be using it, so maybe you need special plots that are raised up a little bit higher so that people don't have to bend over or people with wheelchairs can use them. Boom, that's a way to make that community garden stand out amongst all the other community garden applications we get. So you can think of it that way. Or you can think of something really innovative. One of our actions is innovative project. So if you have something that you think is really cool, the new hip sustainability topic, consider giving me a call. I'll let you know if it sounds like it'll fly. And you can go ahead and try and get funding for it through our program. We like to pilot new sustainability initiatives too. Let's see. Also, a good way to get your application to stand out is if you connect it to your Sustainable Jersey efforts. Obviously, you have to connect it to one of our actions, but you can go a step further and talk about how this is going to help you get certified. So maybe you need that environmental resource inventory. It's a priority action. You need one more. You need those last 10 points. You can talk about how getting this project funded will help you guys get certified. And we want you to get certified, so definitely a good way to help make your application stand out a little bit. Lastly, get started early. As Megan said, do that community visioning. Get your team together. Try and see if you can get local businesses to come together. Maybe there's a nonprofit that has similar goals to you that you can work with. They can even put some manpower in for you too. Local Boy Scouts are also a really great source of manpower I've seen in the grant applications. They all have those equal projects they gotta work on. And because the application's the same thing every single year, you can literally get started at any time. You don't have to wait for the funding to be announced. Last couple tips. Pay attention to the evaluation criteria that's used to evaluate your grant. The good news is it's the same for everyone in the sense that it just aligns with each of the application sections. The difference between them is the points values that are assigned to it. So if you are kind of going last minute and you have to decide like, what do I spend my time on? Maybe spend more time on the section that gets more points when it's getting evaluated. That might help you, get the edge over another application, because a lot of times it really does come down to like a point or two when we're deciding these grants, because everybody has such great projects. Include the community and stakeholders, like I kind of talked about before, and identify sources of in-kind, whether that's donations of time, materials, or even funding. We don't require any kind of in-kind for our grants, but it definitely helps you stand out, shows you got some skin in the game. So if you can find some, definitely get some in that application. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me about grants or any of my colleagues for the schools and the municipal program. And I'm just gonna end with, if you're in a school, please consider also applying for the Student Climate Challenge. Another great way to get funding and recognition for your school. The winning team gets to meet Tammy Murphy, so that's pretty cool. First Lady. And I'm gonna leave it here on the Sustainability Summit. If you need inspiration, if you wanna learn more about Sustainable Jersey and a bunch of different sustainability initiatives going on across the state, consider coming to our summit, now held in May 5th. It'll be a good time, and we'd love to see you there. Thank you all.